Recording in progress.
Yeah, I think we can get started. Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Kumaresan from Salesforce Development Group, Trichy, India. Today, we're going to discuss LWC and its best practices. Immaculate and Shivana are going to take our entire session. They have around 2+ years of experience in Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, and Experience Cloud. The team have a great hands-on with LWC and worked on complex public sector project. In this session, we will cover what is LWC and how it works, and how LWC differ from Aura, and also best practices with demo. Finally, we will have a Q&A session. If you have any question, we can discuss at this time. Also, we plan for a quiz in end of the session. Winners will receive a certification voucher. So please be active. I think it's a time to start. So first, I would like to welcome Immaculate to kickstart the session. Yeah, hi, Immaculate. I think we can get started.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen. Hi all, good evening. I'm Shirley here. Hope you all see my screen. Today we are going to present about LWC and its best practices. These are the today's agenda. We are going to cover what is LWC, comparison between Aura and LWC, advantages of LWC, followed by its component structure, its best practices, followed by demo, Q&A, and finally we are having quiz session. If you have any question, please note it down and we'll discuss in the query session. Let's see one by one. First one is what is LWC? Lightning Web Component is a new programming model to develop Salesforce Lightning Component. It is a modern lightweight framework that is built on latest web standards and delivers the exceptional performance. LWC is a custom HTML elements that is built using HTML and modern JavaScript. It has its own templates, modules, decorators, etc. It automatically provides the polyfills for the older browser. Polyfills is nothing but it provides the modern functionality to run on an older browser that actually do not support it. So LWC will be supported in Safari, Chrome, Firefox, likewise. It has its richer API for better performance and less subtext. LWC and Aura components can coexist and interoperate on a page. That is, we can call Aura inside LWC and we can't add LWC inside Aura. And also in LWC, we can call n number of component inside one component, and there is no limit for this. And the main important thing is Salesforce Developer Console doesn't support LWC. So we are going for VS Code to deploy our code. And the next one is comparison between Aura and LWC. While comparing LWC with Aura, LWC runs much faster than Aura. So it has a better performance in like this. And Aura-based Lightning components are built using both HTML and also JavaScript, while LWC is built directly on the web stack. LWC has inbuilt browser security features from web component standards. So it has its own out-of-box usage, while Aura requires an event-driven programming model that is GUI dependent. LWC framework uses more web standards than Aura components. So these are the some code level changes between Aura and LWC. In Aura, we are using Aura component tag while creating the component, while in LWC, we are using template tag during the creation. And in Aura, we are using colon in our tag, like lightning colon formatted text, while in LWC, we are using lightning hyphen formatted hyphen text. And in order to even fire the event in Aura, we are calling it as an event.fire. But in LWC, we are calling it as a this.dispatch event. And if we want to access any variable in Aura, means we are using exclamatory sign with that variable name. But in LWC, we are just calling that variable inside the curly braces. And also in iteration, we are using Aura iteration tag, and Aura if is to tag for in Aura components. In LWC, we are using for each and if is true tag inside our template tag. The next one is advantages of LWC. LWC has many advantages over Aura components. The first one is a faster loading site. LWC is faster in loading the developed components than Aura components. So it is a lightweight framework which is built on the web standards. LWC has a better security, better testing, and browser compatibility. With LWC, we are having CSS files, JavaScripts, and DOM isolations, which are better and has a more limited event scope. With all of these, we have more consistency in designing our components. And also LWC supports two-way data binding. That is nothing, which is nothing but we can coordinate how data move in between the components. And LWC has its familiarity with the standard technologies like HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. And at last, it has a better performance. The performance is a very important to deliverability, right? So LWC renders faster than Aura component. It's because there is no added abstracted layers in between. Since LWC is directly worked on the web standards, it has a better performance. And also it has many advantages like since there is no added abstracted layer like in Aura, we only need a standard JavaScript to develop and we don't need any other additional framework. So it is easy for a developer to learn the LWC very quickly. And next, let's see about the structure of LWC. So these are the files. Once you create the LWC, these are the files that we can see in our component, like HTML file, JS file, CSS file, XML file, and SVG file. Some of the files are created defaultly during the time of creation, and some of the files are created when it is required. So let's see one by one. The first one is HTML file. It is the file that is defaultly created during the time of creation. So the purpose of this file is we can design our UI here. LWC uses the templating system, which uses the virtual DOM to render the components. And every HTML component requires an HTML file with the root tag, right? So here in LWC, we have a root tag called template. So we can use normal HTML or base Lightning components to create this page. If you want to add any headings or paragraph or anything, means we can place it inside the template tag. When the component starts renders, the template tag is replaced with the component name. For example, if a component name is hello world means, it will be replaced as ce-hello-world. And the file is saved as a component name .html. We can place our Lightning record edit form, like record view form in HTML file. And the next one is JavaScript file. It is also the file that is created defaultly during the time of creation. So every LWC must have a JS file. The purpose of this file is it defines the behavior of HTML elements that is present inside our HTML file. So to import or export any functionality, we can use this file. If you want to export a value means we can use a export keyword. If you want to import a Lightning element from LWC module means we can use import keyword. In JavaScript file, we can also call our Apex method, static resources, etc. And we can also implement any functionalities like if you want to do any functionality when a button is clicked means we can add our functionality inside this JS file. And the naming convention for JavaScript file is like component name .js. And the next one is a configuration file. It is also created defaultly during the time of creation. This file defines the metadata value for a component. And this file contains a component label, availability, configuration attributes, builder attributes like this. For example, what is the component, where you can use it, how it can be used, whether the design configuration is for a Lightning app builder or a community builder, whether we want to use our component inside the app page or record page or home page or in any community builder means we need to specify those configuration inside this file. So these are the tags that are used inside the XML file, such as API version, is exposed, master label, description, target config. And API version tag, it binds the LWC to the Salesforce API version. We can specify a version like 48.0 or 15.2 likewise. And is exposed to keyword, this tag decides whether the component is accessible inside a Lightning app builder or a community builder or not. It is a Boolean tag. So if it is false, means it is not accessible. So only when it is true, we can access in a Lightning app builder or a community builder. And the next one is a target tag. It specifies whether the component can be used inside the app page or record page or home page. Let's see the list of keywords that are used inside the target tags in the next slide. And the last one is a target config. It specifies the behavior of Lightning page, like in which object the component should support. Like we can specify the object name like account or contact or opportunity inside the object tag, which is placed inside the target config tag. So these are the list of keywords that are used inside the target tag. If we use Lightning __ app page, means we can place our component inside our Lightning app page. If we want to place our Lightning component inside any home page, means we can use the tag like Lightning __ home page. And Lightning __ record page is used to place our component inside the Lightning record page. And Lightning community page and Lightning community default, both tags are used for community builder. And the next one is CSS file. Normally, CSS file is not present by default at the time of creation, but we can create it when it is required. So it is to style the component, and the name should be as same as that of the component name. And we can also add the inline CSS inside our HTML file also. That is also possible. Here we can add the design for our component like background colors or font size or font family likewise. So the naming convention is like component name .css. And the next one is a SVG file. It is also not present during the time of creation, but we can create it when it is required. So this file is required if you want to use a custom icon in Lightning app builder or a community builder. Instead of going for an image or icon, we can make use of the SLDS icon library and place it inside the SVG file. In addition to all of these files, we can also include some additional JS files in our component. The purpose of this additional JS is for sharing a particular code snippet with other components, or for including any other some external JS files. If you want to use a same block of functionality in many components, means we can go for additional JavaScript file. The name of this file should be unique because it should not be same as that of the component name, because there is already a JavaScript file created during the time of creation. So the name should be unique within the component folder. For example, if my component name is Java Hello World, means I should not keep that same name for my additional JavaScript folder. So we can place it as an external java.js likewise. And the next one is LWC best practices. So these are some basic naming convention we need to keep in mind while creating the component folder. The file name should begin with the lowercase letter. For example, if a file name is hello world, means it should be in a lowercase. The name must contain only the alphanumeric or underscore character. It should not include white space. For example, in hello world, we should not give space in between hello and world. It is not a valid name. And it cannot end with the underscore. It should not contain two consecutive underscore and cannot contain hyphen, because while rendering, the component name will automatically change to CA-hello-world. So we should be very careful in while naming the component, and the namespace should be very unique. From this slide, Shifana will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Let me share my screen. Hope everyone can see my screen. Hello, I'm Shifana, Hope you're all doing good and staying safe. Let's continue the best practices needed to follow in LWC. And first of all, data retrieval. And data retrieval is one of the main part because we are hitting the server and we should be more cautious before hitting the server. And a component with no data is not a very useful one, right? So in LWC, we have various options available to retrieve the data from the server. And we should keep the following things in mind before hitting the server. First of all, it is query only the fields you actually needed. So only select the fields you needed. Don't query all the fields or don't query whole page layout. And the second thing, limit the number of rows. Don't return a huge number of rows at once. If you have a huge number of rows returning, then implement pagination. And the next one, to do filter or sort kind of operations, we can do it from the client side itself. Using JavaScript arrays, we can do filter and sort kind of things. So for this, avoid the server call. And the next one, make use of actions that can be stored. This helps to minimize the call. So it's always best practice to use or enable catchable equals true because it is much more efficient to make a single larger call than to make many smaller calls. In all programming language, we use variable, right? So variable to hold our data. In LWC, we call these variables as properties. So using public or private properties correctly, it will result in an effective composition, like using decorators like @API, @track, likewise. And LWC can dispatch standard DOM events as well as we can create our own dispatch events too, right? Custom events. So on naming that events, we should keep the following things in mind. So first of all, we should not use any uppercase letter and out of space and use underscores to separate words. For example, if for two words, use underscore. And don't prefix the event name with on, like on click, on handle, don't use it. Next thing is styling our components. Developers should become very familiar with SLDS. So this SLDS was developed by Salesforce to create a rich user interface and experience for the end users. So using a third party or creating your own style sheet may cause the performance issues and it looks some inconsistent for the end user too. If you have no options, you absolutely need a third party or a custom style sheet, then give a minified version of third party or your own custom style sheet so that it will increase the performance of the app. And the next thing is list. So basically list is an order collection of elements. And we can create lists by using either for each or iterator. The difference between the for each and iterator is that iterator has first and last properties that make a special behavior to the first and last elements of the array. And while creating a custom list components, don't support the creation of huge or infinite number of records. For sure, this will create a severe performance issue for your app. And each list element must have a key, which value should be a unique one. And next thing is SLDS icon library. So whenever possible, use SLDS icons instead of creating your own custom icons. And Salesforce has hundreds of icons for you to choose from. So before spending your time creating your custom icon, just go for SLDS icon library. You'll get many options to choose from. The next is conditional rendering. And there are three methods to conditionally render your LWC. The first thing is Lightning App Builder Dynamic Component Visibility. And this is a declarative one and it can build into the app builder. And this used to control when a component appears on a Lightning page by adding any filter or logic. For example, you want to show your Lightning component when the opportunity revenue meets a certain amount, say for 1 million or etc. So at that time, a declarative conditional rendering can be done by Lightning App Builder. The second method allows developers to conditionally render DOM elements using true or false. And the third method is using CSS. So this leverages CSS styles to toggle visibility and can be implemented with the help of HTML or JavaScript JS file. An important difference between this CSS and the above one, that is if true or false, With the CSS approach, the component, it will stay active and the state it maintained. But the above one, that is that if true or false, it will destroys and recreates the component. So the state is always lost. So do you have a business requirement like the third method must be useful when the developer want to preload everything in UI, but he or she wants to hide it until the condition to be fulfilled, right? At this condition, you can go for the third method. The last one here is before starting your own custom lighting components, familiarize yourself with the library of base component offered, because we have so many benefits of using the base components here, and this will style in native lightning look and feel. So you don't want any extra effort to make your form looking a lightning thing. And this is also responsive in designs, and it includes the JS side validation to whenever applicable. So before creating your own custom component, give a try, use base lightning components. It will gives you a lot more. And the next thing here is static resource. And basically static resource allows you to upload content that you can refer inside Salesforce, right? So static resource cannot be used outside of Salesforce org. And this can be used to compose the file and upload its static resource that can be used in a LWC. And we have some limitations here too, and a single static resource can up to 5 MB in size, and in total, an org can have up to 250 MB in size. And the last best practice here is design attributes. So design attributes plays a significant role. It allows you to build reusable and dynamic components. And the configuration file defines this, as Shirley mentioned, we have configuration file, right? .xml file there. So the configuration file defines the metadata values for the component that includes the design configuration for the Lightning app builder or a community builder. And to expose that property, we should use @API decorator. That is a private decorator, right? So we should use. And we have a target configs which supports the property tag. So it's very useful to have design attributes in our LWC components that can be accessed from the Lightning app builder too. So these are the LWC best practices we have covered here, and let's go for demo. And for demo, as I mentioned earlier, we can use any images that can be compressed and uploaded in a static resource, and we can import the static resource in our JS file, and we can use it here. And I have used here an inline styles to get this position. And secondly, I have created a form which when I click this create account button, it will create an account record and saves inside Salesforce. For this, I have used Lightning record edit form. So this came from the library of base component. For example, let's think I want to create a form. If you're manually creating a form, you have to get the values from the end user, and you pass to JS, and JS will pass to the Apex, and there we need to use insert DML to insert a record inside Salesforce. But using Lightning record edit form, it's simple one. By giving object API account, it will automatically create a record inside an account object. And Lightning input field with a field name, industry type. It will get the input from the user and save right there. So it's very useful to, before creating your own custom form, it's always best practice to go for the Lightning base component things. And here I have used Lightning button with a variant of brand. We have so much variant there, so it's always best practice to use SLDS than creating your own styles. So here, even as I mentioned earlier, right, it will, if you use the base component, it will give us the JavaScript side validation too. So this is the required field. I didn't write anything. Either it's required or you should throw error whenever it doesn't meet its criteria. So I did click here, complete the following fields. So it's Whenever you give the mandatory field, it will give the chair side validation. Yes. Once it will create an account inside the Salesforce. And the second thing, here I have called. So whenever the button is clicked, it will call the child from the parent. And I have used here as a template, a conditional rendering. So always the Boolean property is false by default. It is false. On the click of the button, I'm calling the child. In child, I have queried. So as I mentioned earlier, it's very best practice to use catchable equals true and query only the fields you literally needed. See, I'm having 4 fields here and I'm querying just 4 fields from the account. And limit, always using limit keyword. It's one of the best practice we should follow. And here to display the results in a table format, I have used Lightning Data Table. It will gives me the result in a table format rather than using the HTML table like TR, TD kind of thing. We just use Lightning Data Table. It will give our output in a table format. So until this is the Boolean value is false, once I click here, it will give the true. And I have shown my results in a table format here. So this conditional rendering comes from the second point, that's if true or false, like I used here. If true, template of if true and if false. And this Boolean property is, the state is maintained thoroughly. And once I click the high table, the Boolean gets into a false one. So whenever we use the template if true or if false, the state always maintained whenever the button is clicked. And I have a design attributes, which I mentioned earlier, right? So this will gives the property name, and that property I have registered as a public one using at API. And as I mentioned earlier, in XML file, you're giving the property name as car title with the default one and the first name with the default one. So I have placed this in my contact. See the welcome and hello Salesforce. So let me quickly go here, edit my page. And here, I'm adding. See here, edited. So this gives it allows us to build a reusable and dynamic components here by adding the property tag inside target configs in the XML file. So from demo part, it's done. So if you have any questions, please ask.
Any queries, team?
Hi.
Yeah, hi, Vikas.
Actually, if that table part, just I want to see that the moment you were scrolling it, right? Yeah, that time you showing the output of this. Yeah. So actually what I want to see in one issue, what I faced that I want to talk, like here, account number, account type, right? in these things, once we scroll it up, okay, so what happened basically, this top heading will go on the top and these names will start came, right? That sometimes happens. So I just want to know that if we want to keep these thing in a form of a static form, like this will be still stick on the top and all the accounts name will scroll from top to down, but this will be stay static the same. So if you want to implement this, what additional code we need to implement in HTML?
We can use CSS for header thing
Mm-hmm.
to make it a static one.
Okay, and after that, one additional thing, actually 2-3 days back, I tried to use some external JavaScript, okay, in our like Angular. So I just I'm not able to that file I'm not able to find out from which site I can take it out and store to static resource. So any idea about that thing, like external JavaScript? I know that we can, if we want, it is possible, but I exactly don't know from where we can able to find all these files, external JavaScript files. Any idea on that?
Yeah, yes, because actually for header part, you can use CSS property like position property like fixed. So you can use that CSS property for header section. Then if you need, if you are going to iterate n number of records, means we can use lazy loading here. Here we are showing 9 records, right? So if you are going to show multiple record, means you don't want to retry everything in page load. Then based on a scroll option, you can able to retry a number of records. Like first click, we can able to show 10 records. If we are going to use scroll bar, means in that scroll, you can able to implement a lazy loading logic. So based on that scroll operation, if that scroll bar going to hit the bottom of the page, in that time you can able to retry remaining records. This kind of operation you can able to do in this LWC component to achieve your business logic. Because
okay, at the same time, for third-party JavaScript library files, is it any
okay,
website we have from where we can able to take it and implement
actually.
in the
Yeah, we don't want to go for that particular library. We can able to achieve this in plain JavaScript itself in LWC. If we are using any third-party library, means we need to add those things in static resources. Then you need to call everything, right? Because
Yes,
here we have,
So
yeah.
yeah, actually, I know this. That's my question. Like, I want to do it. So, is any
Okay, okay,
website from where we can take these library files available? These library files for available.
okay. In jQuery we have a number of libraries, but for this static header, we don't want to call any third-party library. It's a simple thing. It's a one-line change. Because this kind of simple change you don't want to call third party libraries, right? That's why we call.
No, like assuming Angular 8, if we want to implement, okay, so that is
Okay.
third party, right? And
Oh, okay.
that also happened, right? So that part, if I want, so for that, what happened? Some external library files will be available. We need to we need to search it and we need to store in our static resource, then we can call
Yes.
in our code, right? So my question
Yes.
was, I already tried all these things. The
Okay.
thing I was not able to find it for Angular JS and React. So these two things will be there, and because of that, I was thinking, like, can any one of you know whether it's a website with all this thing will be available? So yes, asked.
Okay. Okay. You are expecting some library for to achieve these things, right? For Angular. In
Yes.
which version can you mention? Then I will share the reference to you.
No. I just want to know, can it possible, and if it's possible, how? From whichever.
Yeah, it's possible, but you are asking for library, right?
Yeah, so like, can you show me demonstration, like from which website I can, fetch the library and store in static resource and call now only?
In npm JS, you can able to see a lot of libraries in npm JS, node package libraries.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, team? Yeah, thanks for asking, Vikas.
Yeah.
Team, any other question? I think I can able to see some frequent attendees like Ketan.
What are the DOM events basically in the LWC part? DOM events in the one of the slide it's mentioning the best practices.
It's data object model, Ketan.
Yeah, but what is the benefit of that?
Shifana, shall I or you gonna proceed?
Oh, sorry. Could you please come again? Ketan?
They're asking for a DOM, document object model.
The storm events. So this is a naming convention when we are creating our custom events here.
No, Miss. What is the use of that events in the LWC?
Okay.
This is a naming convention. In the operation when we use DOM, because it is I think a newly introduced in the LWC part, one of the article. I'm not sure about that. I don't get that much information.
Okay, Ketan. Actually, if you are opening particular web page or web publication in the browser, means that that if you are going to use open particular Salesforce.com site, means a website, right, or a web publication, right? But browser will consider as a document. That web publication is one of the document. Then that browser will consider as a in that web publication we will have a number of tags, right? Like a body tag, paragraph, anchor tag, a number of tags will be there, right? So browser will have a set of rules to consider each and every tags. Also, we have some concept like DOM tree. You just refer in W3 code, so you can able to get some more ideas. Like it's just a browser-based concept for each and every web publication. It's common for LWC, Aura, and React, and Angular also.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yes, Vikas.
Actually, sorry, in our Salesforce, we have standard account icons. So I just want to know, like, instead of that, if I want to call my own, so for that, what an additional code I need to do so that my own made icons I can able to call in my Salesforce components.
You're asking for a standard component or custom LWC component, because standard way we can't achieve those things, but in your custom LWC component or Aura component, you can able to call your icons from static resource.
No, so yeah, so if I want to call it from static resource, because even I tried the same, I don't know why it's not happened. So I just want to know, like, can you show me the small demonstration if possible now, like any
Yeah,
of
sure.
the icon from
Yes,
Yes,
Shifana, can you share?
yeah, yes. So this is how we want to import a static resource into JS with this, and this represents the name of the static resource inside our Salesforce. And we can use my resource. So trailhead image, I used it here. With image tag, the SRC would be the trailhead image.
Okay, and
That's
fine.
how I got this.
Okay, and after that, this whole thing, if I want to, you know, the size, if I want to change it, can I do it?
Yes, you can.
Like exactly for that, I need to go in CSS, right?
So you want to change the styles or the whole
component
image?
I want to change component size, the component one.
Yes, we can do it using the CSS thing.
CSS only, right? Okay.
Yes.
And additionally, if I want to call, I know that in Aura component, Lightning Web component, we can call it, but in Lightning Web component, Aura component, we can't, right?
Yes. Yes, you're correct, Vikas.
Yeah, thanks, team. Thanks for your questions. I think
If no other questions, we can jump into quiz. And quiz will be handled by Kumaresan.
yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks, Ivana. Thanks, Immaculate, for the wonderful session. I think let me share my screen. You can able to see my screen, right, team?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, here we are using Kahoot. So if you want to join the quiz means you just open kahoot.it. Then you just enter this game pin. You can able to see the questions in our Zoom screen. Then you can able to enter the answers in your device. I think we have a 40 plus attendees. Only 4 members in our board. I think 6 members now. I think around 25 members. We have 40 plus attendees in our Zoom screen. Here we can able to see around 26 plus. Team, shall we start or are you facing any issues? Around 30 members. 31. I think we can get started. Actually, we have a 15 set of questions based on your response time and the correct answer. You will be in top position. Okay, let me start. Why is she in top position?
Can you mute this music?
Sorry?
Can you please mute this music?
Sure. Team, I think this is the last one. Let's see the podium. Yeah, congratulations on all the winners. This top 3 people will receive the certification also. Actually, we need your information like your web browser account details like first name, last name, and the email ID. Which one is mapped with the web browser account? Okay. You can reach me through the my LinkedIn account, or you can reach me in this community email ID like kumaresan.s@trailblazerscgl.com. Okay. So congratulations, team.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks, team. We'll meet on another meetup.
Thank you.